we've made it again to another Friday here on PrizePicks. My name's CJ Curry, the host with the most. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, now's your time. Get subscribed. Hit the subscribe button for me. I appreciate everybody who's subscribing, rocking, and riding with me all NBA season long. It's a fantastic weekend, especially if you're a fight fan, because PrizePicks is running some pretty cool promotions, starting with this first one here. It's Iron Mike Tyson. It's a free square over on PrizePicks. If you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, you should definitely get signed up. Take advantage of this Mike Tyson free square. Obviously, he is taking on Jake Paul this evening on Netflix. So if you got a Netflix account, you got something to watch tonight. That should be highly entertaining. But yeah, if Mike Tyson lands at least one punch, well, we win. Okay, we win. It's as easy as that. And on top of that, they're doing another promotion today, being that it is Flex Friday, which is basically you come over here to the promotions tab, you opt in, and you get a risk-free entry on PrizePicks. Now, my risk-free entry is only worth $5. How much is yours worth? Leave a comment down in the comment section below. How much does PrizePicks give you on your Flex Friday play? I'm interested to hear because I always hear varying numbers. Not everybody's Flex Fridays are created equal. I get $5. I've heard some people get $35. What do you get? Leave a comment down in the comment section below. And on top of that, of course, PrizePicks is still doing that little promotion where you play your first $5 if you've never played on PrizePicks before, and whether you win or you lose, they're going to give you $50 back. To take advantage of this offer, go down to the description of today's video, click that special link, and use promo code CJ Curry. All right. So obviously we've got the Mike Tyson free square. I think I'm allowed to put up to $25 on this promotion. You could break this up and make 5 different player prop entries if you wanted to and risk like $5 on each one. You could play it one time, make like a 2-pick power play and try to triple your money up. You could go a lot of different ways with it, but definitely make sure you take advantage of that. You got about 11 more hours before this thing expires. All right, so what are we talking about for NBA today? Well, I really don't have anything pre-planned or anything kind of laid out here, but I was poking around today on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and just checking out some of the props, some of the odds and stuff that are being pulled in from various sports books. And I wanted to show you guys one of the ways that I like using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer that's been really helpful for me in the past. And so obviously you've got access to all these different sports books: Pinnacle, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, and some of these other DFS pick'em style apps like your underdogs, your flips, and your parlay plays. But there's one sports book that is generally known as like the gold standard, the best or sharpest sports book in terms of setting odds, and that's Pinnacle. Pinnacle is this first one here in the first column. And so one way that I like to use the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer is looking at Pinnacle, because Pinnacle doesn't allow just any Joe Schmo on their sports books. They're not just taking bets from anyone. Usually the money that's coming in on Pinnacle is sharp money, and that's a very good indicator that, hey, you know, these people who are putting their money down on Pinnacle are typically well informed and are making good decisions. And so what I like to do is I like to look at just the Pinnacle odds on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, and we can refresh this, make sure we have all the latest and greatest odds. But I like looking at these odds and seeing which way sharp money is coming in on some of these player props early on. We got a 12-game NBA slate. There's lots of pending injury news, so you guys need to stay on top of that, because that can definitely open up some value or potentially tank some of these early picks. But what I like to do is go down the line here. So starting with a guy like Tobias Harris, who's under 16.5 points. You're seeing him at 15.5 on a sports book like FanDuel. Most other sports books do have him at 16.5, but the way that the money is coming in on this prop would lead you to believe that we should be thinking about taking the under on Tobias Harris. But I like to take things a step further and not just go off of sportsbook data, but I also like to look at some of the projection models that I know are some of the sharpest in the industry. Now, just because they're the sharpest in the industry doesn't mean it's a 100% guarantee that these projection models are going to be right all the time. They're not. If that was the case, then PrizePicks and all these sports books would already be out of business. So just drilling down this list here, let's go through these and look at some projections for some of these guys and try to like narrow down maybe a player pool of different player props that we should be thinking about adding to our Flex Friday entry today. Starting with this guy, Tobias Harris under 16.5 points. Taking a look at one of the top projection models, which is Fantasy Labs. Tobias Harris is projected for about 17.3 points over on Fantasy Labs. So they actually have him going over 16.5 ever so slightly. But it's important to remember that with these player projections, you should always shave off about 10 to 20% off of whatever the projection is. So 17.3, take off, 10%. 20% off of that number, which would put him just under 17 points tonight going up against the Toronto Raptors. But I also like to compare against other projection models, and this one's called Shot Quality. This one has a very good reputation in the industry. They're tracking all kind of advanced analytics using machine learning and AI vision to come up with their projections. I mean, it's crazy some of the stuff that they're looking at. Defender distance, defender height, what type of shots these guys are taking, where their tendencies are, where do they tend to shoot from, different various spots on the court. And so really like what Shot Quality is doing here. I can't really tell you a projection model that has more advanced information in it than Shot Quality. But looking at their projection for Tobias Harris, they've got him right at 17 points. So for me, that would probably just be a fade. I don't like the fact that the odds are saying take the under, but he's projecting over on a couple of the sharpest projection models out there. So I'm going to skip over him. The next one would be Rudy Gobert at 11.5 rebounds. Now this one on Pinnacle, minus 141 betting favorite to stay under 11.5 rebounds. So they expect 11 or fewer rebounds according to the data that's coming in from all these different sports books. All the money is coming in on the under at Rudy Gobert, 11.5 rebounds. So let's take a look at some projections, see if the projections agree or disagree, because that's kind of what I look for. I want everything to kind of align and agree. Now, 11.3 is fair. He's going up against Domantas Sabonis and the Sacramento Kings tonight, so it might be a tough night for him on the glass. 11.3 projected rebounds. So that is slightly under the 11.5. And then we take a look at his rebound projection over here on Shot Quality. Shot Quality's got him projected for 11.92 rebounds. So you got one projection that has him over 11.5 on Shot Quality, another projection that has him going under. So for me, I'm going to probably skip over that one as well. I just want everything to align, everything to agree. Tristan Da Silva of the Orlando Magic sitting out here at 7.5 points, about a 53% chance that he has 8 or more points tonight. Most books have him at 7.5. One book has him at 8.5. That's DraftKings. But this prop has about a 53% chance of going over 7.5 points. So let's run some projections on him real quick. Going over to Fantasy Labs first and foremost, Tristan Da Silva sitting out there at 8.9 projected points. So that definitely puts him over 7.5. That's a good projection for him. Second projection for Tristan Da Silva, 9.23 points on a line of 7.5. So you got two projections, two models that really like Da Silva over 7.5 points. And you're getting a lot of sportsbook data here, positive data that has him going over 7.5 as well. Yusuf Nurkic of the Phoenix Suns, 11.5 rebounds, a 53.76% chance that he goes over 11.5 rebounds today. Minus 136 betting favorite on Pinnacle to go over 11.5 rebounds at a 53.7% chance. So the odds are looking good here for Nurkic to clear 11.5 boards. Let's go check some projections on Nurkic. You guys hopefully are getting some benefit out of this information. He's projected for 12 rebounds over on Fantasy Labs. As far as where he's at over on Shot Quality's got him all the way up at 13.1 projected rebounds. So two different projection models and odds that all have Yusuf Nurkic clearing 11.5 rebounds. So that would be an over option. Anthony Edwards over 4.5 assists, 53.5% chance that he clears this. Again, all the money and all the juice is coming in on the over here. Let's check the projections for Anthony Edwards and his 4.5 assists. Let's see if they agree or disagree. The first projection has him at 3.9, so they definitely disagree with the odds. They've got him closer to 4 assists than 5 tonight. And then Shot Quality, they've got him up at, let's see, 3.73 assists. So they have him going under 4.5 assists as well. So when the odds have him going over and the projections have him going under, I don't like when mom and dad aren't getting along. So I just skip over those props and try to find a better option. Let's go to Zach Edey here of the Memphis Grizzlies sitting at 10.5 points. Almost a 54% chance that he stays under this number. All the books have him at 10.5, but all the money's coming in on the under for Zach Edey at 10.5, including a minus 134 betting favorite to stay over on Pinnacle. So let's go run the projections for Mr. Zach Edey here. We're going to look at the points section. Projected for about 10.7 points, so leaning a little closer to 11 than 10. So we kind of like what we see there. And then shot quality's got him sitting out at about 11.97 points. So they have him at almost 12 points today. So the over on Zach Edey looks like the option as far as the projection models go. But again, the odds have him all going under. So you kind of have a decision to make. Do you ride with the odds in the betting public, or do you ride with these projection models? And so for that reason, I skip over something like that. Evan Mobley's another one here at 16.5 points, about a 53% chance that he goes over 16.5. Some sports books already have Mobley up at 17.5 points. He did go under in a recent matchup against the Chicago Bulls, but just because he went under recently doesn't mean he's going to go under every time he faces the Chicago Bulls. So you're seeing some juice coming in on the over at 16.5 points, which is why this one has about a 53% chance of going over. So let's run the projections on Evan Mobley. Mobley out here at 19.8 projected points tonight. So they got him close to 20 points. He has been dealing with an illness, but I don't know that that's going to be enough to slow him down tonight in this rematch game against the Chicago Bulls. So very healthy first projection here on Evan Mobley's points. Let's check out another projection, which is going to be shot quality, of course. They've got him at 19.14 points. So they both have Evan Mobley at 19 or higher points. So that one looks like a really solid option as well. Going back here to some of these other props, we've got Alexander Sarr of the Washington Wizards at 6.5 rebounds, about a 52.3% chance that he has 6 or fewer boards tonight. So let's run the projections on him. We're hopefully looking for projections of 6 or fewer rebounds when we go check those out. His first projection, 6.7, so closer to 7 than 6, so that's not what we wanted to see here. Going back to shot quality and checking them out, they've got Alexander Sarr at 6.68 rebounds, and so for me, that's going to be another option that I just look over and try to find something better where the projections are agreeing with the odds. Josh Hart of the New York Knicks, 5.5 assists, the under looking like the way to go here, 52.4% chance that he stays under. He's a minus 133 betting favorite out on most of these sports books here, including Pinnacle. So let's see if he is actually projected to go under 5.5 assists as well. First projection on Hart has him at 5.3, so definitely closer to 5 than 6. If he stays at 5 or fewer, we're in good shape. Checking the second projection, going over here to shot quality. Their assist number for Josh Hart is 4.83, so they do have him staying under against the Brooklyn Nets tonight. So that's 2 good projections for Josh Hart. So you could take the under on that one if you want as well. Clint Capella of the Atlanta Hawks sitting out here at 8.5 rebounds. The under looking like the way that most of the betting public is taking Clint Capella today on 8.5 rebounds. 52.5% chance for him to stay under. Let's just see if these projection models agree or disagree with Capella staying under 8.5 boards. This first projection's got him up at 8.8, so closer to 9 rebounds than 8. So it's kind of not what you want to see whenever you're going to check these different projections out. Second projection has him all the way up at 10.1. So I'm going to stay away from Clint Capella under 8.5 rebounds because the projections and the odds just aren't on the same page. Now, his teammate, Jalen Johnson, sitting out here at 9.5 rebounds. This one's got a 52.3% chance of going over. So we're looking for projections of 10 or more when we're going and looking for Jalen Johnson rebound numbers. So first projection is going to be over here on Fantasy Labs, and they've got him projected all the way up at 10.2 rebounds, so they like him to rebound better than they do Capella. So that first projection is looking good for Jalen Johnson. Second projection for Jalen Johnson, 9.95. We might as well round that up and call it 10. So the projections do agree in this case with the way that the money is coming in on this prop for Jalen Johnson at 9.5 rebounds. You could take the over on that one. The next guy is going to be RJ Barrett of the Toronto Raptors, sitting out here at 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. A 53.4% chance that he's going over 32.5 PRA today. And then you're seeing some sports books who have already moved RJ Barrett up from 32.5 to 33.5 PRA. So you're starting to see a trend upwards for RJ RJ Barrett. So let's run the projections. Hopefully we're getting projections of 33 or more points, rebounds, and assists for Barrett today. This first projection has him sitting out at 37.3 PRA going up against the Detroit Pistons. So that's a very strong projection. 33.5 versus 37.3. Love to see that. Second projection for RJ Barrett. PRA number 4. Shot quality has him at 36.68. So RJ Barrett over PRA, looking like a very solid way to play him. So let's start adding some of these to an entry here. We got RJ Barrett over points, rebounds, and assists at 33. We talked about Josh Hart going under 5.5 assists. He's projected to stay under. We talked about Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. He's expected to go over his rebounds at 9.5. What else do we have here? Any others that kind of stuck out? Mobley over 16.5 points was another one that projected well, so we'll take him. And we're building out a little, oh, he's off the board. Evan Mobley's off the board. Okay, well, I guess we can't take Evan Mobley because he's no longer on the board. All right, let's see. Anything else that stood out? Yusuf Nurkic over 11.5 rebounds. I think that one was a good one, right, gang? I think we had a good one with Nurkic. Yep, there we go. So we'll add Nurkic to the mix at over 11.5 rebounds versus the OKC Thunder. He should have a pretty good size advantage against those guys. All right, so there's a few plays. Tristan da Silva over 7.5 points was another one that was popping. Let's see if he's on the board still. Yep, over 7.5 versus Philadelphia. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. We need one more. Let's keep looking here. Ivica Zubac under 10.5 rebounds, 52.92% chance that he's going to stay under 10.5 rebounds. So 10 or fewer boards from Zubac is what we're hoping for. Let's go check the projections out for Ivica Zubac. He's at 11.5, so that immediately puts him out of contention for me. Let's skip on to the next pick. Jaden McDaniels of the Minnesota Timberwolves under 10.5 points. Most of the juice coming in on the under on your sports books here, including Pinnacle, where he's a minus 130 betting favorite to stay under 10.5 points. So let's look at the projections here for Jaden McDaniels of Minnesota. Projected for 8.7 points going up against the Sacramento Kings. Love what I'm seeing there, almost a 2-point projection differential. And then we'll also look at the projection here on shot quality, which has them all the way down at 8.76. So I'm going to go ahead and add McDaniels in here as a 6th and final play to this entry to go under 10.5 points. Just want to run through here and make sure that there's no pending injury news that could impact any of these plays. We got RJ Barrett, Toronto Raptors. Let's see, anything pending for him? Barnes is out. That's good. Olynyk's out. Quickly's out. Okay, Bruce Brown's out, so no issues there. I like what I'm seeing from that one. Tristan da Silva of the Orlando Magic. Obviously, we know Paolo Banchero's out indefinitely. Wendell Carter Jr. still out. So we got Tristan da Silva. Should be fine, maybe getting some more usage. We know Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's not a big scorer, so outside of Wagner and Suggs, somebody's going to have to step up. Hopefully it'll be da Silva tonight. What was one of the other ones that we had here? Josh Hart of the Knicks under 5.5 assists. Let's see if there's any pending New York Knicks news that might hurt us if we take Josh Hart under right now. Doesn't look like it. Brunson looks like he's green lit, so he should be good to go. Karl Anthony Towns is a game time decision. Miles McBride is a game time decision. I'm kind of thinking these guys end up playing. I don't think Towns is like that bad off. Let's see. He's listed as questionable left knee contusion, which is a bruise. He just had 46 points against the Chicago Bulls. I think he'll probably be fine. Miles McBride might be one that's a little bit more impactful, being that he's a guard. He's questionable to play on Friday due to left knee inflammation. Plays at 7:30 Eastern time. Cam Payne and Jalen Brunson are also a little bit beat up. I would say that McBride, I don't know. We'll have to see. He might end up giving it a go, though. All right, so we're going to leave Josh Hart in there. I think McBride's probably fine. Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks, any injury news that could potentially impact that? Nope. Everybody's pretty much out. That's always been out. And they're going up against Washington, who gives up a ton of boards. It's just going to be a matter of, is it Clint Capella getting the boards or Jalen Johnson getting the boards? Now, they could both get the boards against Sarr and Kuzma, but we'll just have to wait and see how things kind of play out. And then what was one of our other picks here? Yusuf Nurkic versus OKC. We already talked about OKC's massive injuries to the front court. No Chet Holmgren, no Isaiah Hartenstein, and those guys are not going to be playing again tonight. Now, Nurkic is a game-time decision. Let's check his status. He's iffy, listed as questionable due to an ankle sprain. Oh, no. Okay, so we'll fade Yusuf Nurkic, meaning we'll leave him off because he might not play, and I don't want my entry to revert down to a 5 pick if he does not play. And then what about Minnesota's Jaden McDaniels sitting out here at 10.5 points? Is there any pending injury news for the T-Wolves? No. Everybody looks like they're a full go. All right, so we need a replacement pick here for Yusuf Nurkic. So let's keep looking. I'm going to refresh the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and see if anything else is bubbling up here on the board. Let's see. Scrolling through. Tobias Harris under 26.5 PRA. Let's see if the PRA looks like a good way to play Harris. We kind of didn't want to go with the points. He's sitting at 26.9 for the PRA, so I'm going to leave that one alone too. That's just a little bit too high for my taste. Jalen Wells, not really familiar with your game, sir. Draymond Green over 5.5 assists could be an option. Let's take a look at the Draymond Green assist props. Draymond sitting at 5.3. It's not high enough for me to take it. I'm going to leave that one alone. What about Jakob Poeltl under 27.5 PRA? We've already got RJ Barrett to go over PRA, so maybe it's more of a Barrett night and less of a Poeltl night. And we're seeing some of his lines being bumped down to 26.5 PRA. Let's run the projections on Jakob Poeltl real quick. Jakob Poeltl sitting out at 29.1 PRA. No, I'm good. I'm going to leave that one alone as well. If he gets bumped down to like 27 or 26.5, then I would probably take the over on that one based on the projections that I'm seeing. Tyus Jones over 6.5 assists. That could be an option. He's pretty good at dishing out the rock. Let's take a look at Tyus Jones here. 6.9 projected assists going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That looks pretty promising. Close to 7 assists, which is exactly what we would need from this kid. 7 or more. And then we got another projection of 7.35 for Tyus Jones going up against OKC. Let's just check the injury report one more time for Phoenix. We know Bradley Beal's going to be out. Grayson Allen's listed as a game-time decision. So does that mean Tyus Jones takes on more of a scoring role and maybe he's not dishing out the ball as much? Grayson Allen deemed questionable with a hamstring. He's in jeopardy of missing his second straight outing due to right hamstring soreness. Really don't know how that's going to impact Tyus Jones. Plus, OKC's a 7.5 point favorite. I could see this one potentially reaching blowout status. I'm going to leave Tyus Jones alone. What else do we have here? De'Aaron Fox under 26.5 points. He's down to 24.5 over on FanDuel. Most books have him at 26.5 though. Let's check some projections for De'Aaron Fox real quick. Maybe he can be our 6th and final pick of the video. Fox projected for 27.9 points. Now, that's just too high for me to take the under. We'll skip over that one. What else do we have? Grady Dick under 25.5 PRA. He's been so hot lately as far as just scoring the ball. Let's see what his projections are looking at. 25.2 going up against Detroit. Shot quality's got him at 24.2. So they do have him going under the line of 25.5 ever so slightly. So that could be an option. What about Cade Cunningham under 40 points, rebounds, and assists going up against Toronto? Let's run the numbers on Cade real quick. Cade projected to go over. All right. Well, for the sake of this video and this pick, I'm going to stay with Grady Dick under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. But you know, he's been kind of hot. He put up 40 against Milwaukee. I just don't see him doing that again, but, you know, maybe he's onto something. He's put up 18, 17, 13. Yeah, let's go under on Grady Dick, over on RJ Barrett. That's a good correlated play. Hopefully it's more of a Barrett night than a Grady Dick night. All these other plays projected well and had favorable odds. Like I said, my protected play is only for $5, so I could turn $5 into $125. So we'll go ahead and submit that, lock that in. Hopefully I turn my 5 into 125. And that's it, gang. I just took you through the whole process. There's no hidden tricks or anything. No smoke and mirrors. Very transparent. That's the type of stuff that I look for. I look for the best odds, the best projections, and then I hope for the best results. Hopefully you guys are going to tail these picks. If not, that's okay too. I will see you guys in Discord and in Dub Club for more winning plays, picks, and parlays. Good luck on your Flex Friday tonight. Peace.